quadratic expressions. In this concept, we are going to see how to handle quadratic terms that have their exponents highest of 2. They are the expressions we call quadratic expressions. The question said that we should expand a plus 2 into a plus 3. In doing this, what I'm going to do is a times a will give you a squared. A times 3 will give you plus 3a. Then the second term, 2 times a will give you plus 2a. And 2 times 3 will give you plus 6. Now collect like terms. Bring down a squared, which is the first term. 3a plus 2a will give you 5a, that is plus 5a. Then bring down plus 6. You have finished expanding. Expand n plus 5 into n minus 4. N times n will give you n squared. N times minus 4 will give you minus 4n. 5 times n will give you plus 5n. 5 times minus 4 will give you minus 20. Now collect like terms. Bring down n squared. Minus 4n plus 5n will give you plus 1n. Bring down minus 20. Expand p minus 3 into p minus 5. P times p will give you p squared. P times minus 5 will give you minus 5p. Minus 3 times p will give you minus 3p. Then minus 3 times minus 5 will give you plus 15. Collect like terms now. Bring down p squared. Minus 5p minus 3p will give you minus 8p. Then bring down plus 15. Expand 2c minus 3d squared. The meaning of this is 2c minus 3d into another 2c minus 3d. That is the meaning of 2c minus 3d squared. Now expand it. 2c times 2c will give you, first of all, 2 times 2 is 4. C times c is c squared. Then 2c times minus 3d. First of all, 2 times minus 3 will give you minus 6. C times d will give you cd. Minus 3d times 2c. First of all, 3 minus 3 times 2 will give you minus 6. D times c will give you cd. Minus 3d times minus 3d. First of all, minus 3 times minus 3 will give you plus 9. D times d will give you d squared. Now you are going to collect like terms. Bring down 4c squared minus 6cd minus 6cd will give you minus 12cd. Then bring down plus 9d squared. You are finished. The last question we have on the explanation of how to expand quadratic expressions is expanding u plus 2v into u plus 3v. U times u will give you u squared. U times plus 3v will give you plus 3uv. 2v times u will give you plus 2uv. Then 2v times 3v will give you plus 6v squared. Collect like terms. Bring down u squared plus 3uv plus 2uv will give you plus 5uv. Then bring down plus 6v squared. You have finished the expansion. We are now into finding coefficients. First of all, before we go into it proper, I want to explain what coefficient is. Coefficient of a term is the number or the expression or the term that is in front of the number in question. Coefficient. I can say that the coefficient of this biro is this handkerchief, because this handkerchief is in front of this biro. So in any expression, any number that is in front of another number is called the number's coefficient. When we get into the lesson proper, you are going to discover exactly what I have expressed now. The first question we are taking is that we are told to find the coefficient of x in x plus 2 into x plus 7. The first thing what you do now is just go ahead and expand, just the way we did in the previous concept. When you finish expanding the brackets, then you will now know which number is in front of x, which the question is asking you to find its coefficient. Expansion. X times x will give you x squared. X times 7 will give you plus 7x. 2 times x will give you plus 2x. Then 2 times 7 will give you plus 14. Collect like terms, bring down x squared plus 7x plus 2x will give you 9x. Then plus 14. Now you have finished expanding. The coefficient of x in this expression now is 9, because it is 9 that is in front of x. I hope you have understood what coefficient is. The number that is in front of the number in question. Find the coefficient of a in a minus 3 into a minus 1. First of all, expand the expression. It is only after expansion that you will be able to detect the coefficient of a. A times a will give you a squared. A times minus 1 will give you minus a. Minus 3 times a will give you minus 3a. Minus 3 times minus 1 will give you plus 3. Collect like terms. Bring down a squared. Minus a minus 3a will give you minus 4a. Bring down plus 3. In this case, you can discover that the number in front of a is minus 4. That means the coefficient of a in this expression, a minus 3 into a minus 1, is minus. Find the coefficient of d in d minus 5 all squared. D minus 5 all squared means d minus 5 into d minus 5. That's the meaning of this. Now expand it. D times d will give you d squared. D times minus 5 will give you minus 5d. Minus 5 times d will give you minus 5d again. Then minus 5 times minus 5 will give you plus 25. Collect like terms, bring down d squared. Minus 5 will give you minus 10d. That is minus 5d minus 5d. In some cases, in the experience I had while marking students' scripts, I discover at times students used to make the mistake when they come to this level. minus 5d minus 5d does not mean minus 5d times minus 5d, because some students will go and write plus 25d squared. This means minus 5d plus minus 5d, and that's what we give you, minus 10d. Simple. Now bring down plus 25. In this case, you discover that the number in front of d is minus 10. That means the coefficient of d in this expression, d minus 5 squared, is minus 10. Find the coefficient of x in 2x minus 5 into, this should be 3x plus 5. All the unknowns should be the same thing in the two brackets. Okay, expand. 2x times 3x. 2 times 3 will give you 6. X times x will give you x squared. Then 2x times plus 5 will give you plus 10x. Minus 5 times 3x will give you minus 15x. Minus 5 times plus 5 will give you minus 25. Collect like terms, bring down 6x squared. Plus 10x minus 15x will leave you with minus 15x. Sorry, minus 5x. Then bring down minus 25. If you watch very close now, you discover that the number in front of x is minus 5. And that gives the coefficient of x in the expression 2x minus 5 into 3x plus 5. Find the coefficient of AB in 5a plus 2b into 5a minus 2b. Expansion. 5a times 5a will give you 25a squared. So you have 25a squared. 5a times minus 2b. 5 times minus 2 will give you minus 10. A times b will give you ad. 2b times 5a will give you plus 10ab. That is 2 times 5 to give you 10, b times a to give you ab. 2b times minus 2b will give you minus 4b squared. That means 2 times minus 2 will give you minus 4. B times b will give you plus, that is b squared. Collect like terms now. We are going to bring down 25a squared minus 10b, minus 10ab plus 10ab. They will cancel themselves. Just like saying 10ab minus 10ab. They are going to bring back minus 4b squared. Mind you, when you cancel out this, what will be left inside there is 0. That means in this concept, the coefficient of AB is 0. Because if you write this expression to be 25a squared plus 0 minus 4b squared, or in this case, plus 0ab, okay, then plus, or rather minus 4b squared. It is something as this. So you are not going to write plus 0ab, but I wrote it in this form so as to clear to you that the coefficient of ab is 0. You don't say that ab has no coefficient in this kind of concept. The coefficient is 0. The last question we want to treat on finding the coefficient of terms in expressions, especially quadratic expressions that we are into, is this question that says find the coefficient of AB in A minus 3B all squared. Just as I had explained before, the meaning of things like this is A minus 3B into another A minus 3B. Wherever you see things like this, what it means, multiply repeated the times you have inside the bracket. Just like when you have A squared means A times A. If you have 10 squared means 10 times 10. If you have U squared, it means U times U. Now expand. A times A will give you A squared. A times minus 3B will give you minus 3AB. Minus 3B times A will give you minus 3AB. Then minus 3B times minus 3B will give you plus 9B squared. Collect like terms. Bring down A squared. Minus 3AB minus 3AB will give you minus 6AB. Then bring down plus 9B squared. If you look closely now, you discover that the coefficient of AB is minus 6. Welcome to the concept of factorization. In this concept, we are going to treat how to factorize quadratic expression at this level, JSS 3 level. We'll start with this question that said that we should factorize x squared plus 6x plus 5. In factorization, the first thing you do is create two brackets. First bracket, second bracket. Now go to the first term, which is x squared. You know that the meaning of x squared is x times x. The two x that are involved in x squared, write them at the beginning of each of the brackets. The next thing you do is ask yourself, which two numbers is it that if I multiply them together, I will have 5. But if I add them together, I will have plus 6, the coefficient of x in the expression. Two numbers that have the product of 5 and the sum of plus 6. Just think. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. Have you seen that 5 and 1 are the two numbers that have the product of 5 and sum of 6? Write plus 5 and plus 1. You have finished factorization. Now, I will always advise you, just the way I had always advised all my students in the universe, that when you finish factorization, for you to be sure, check. And I'm going to check only once because of time, but in your consequent experience in factorization, when you finish factorizing, expand. That is by checking. Expand. That was why I first of all treated expansion before I came to factorization. When you expand and you did not get the expression you started with, that means you are wrong. But if you expand and get the expression you started with, that means you are correct. So let's expand this. X times x will give us x squared. X times plus 1 will give us plus x. Some students will write plus 1x. It's not wrong, but it is not the best. You don't write 1x. X means 1x. Okay? 5 times x is plus 5x. Then 5 times 1 is plus 5. Now, collect like terms. Bring down x squared. X plus 5x will give you plus 6x. Then bring down plus 5. You can see that x squared plus 6x plus 5 is the expression we started with. That means our factorization is correct. The second question said I should factorize d squared plus 13d plus 22. Create two brackets. 1, 2. D squared means d times d. So write the two d's that you multiply together to get d squared in the beginning of each of the brackets. Now think, which two numbers have the product of 22 and the sum of 13? Two numbers that if you multiply them together, you get 22. If you add them together, you have 13. I'm thinking of 11 and 2. 11 times 2 is 22, and 11 plus 2 is 13. So I have 11 and 2. I have finished factorizing. If you like, expand the expression you have here, you find out that you're going to get d squared plus 13d plus 22. Factorize d squared minus 9d plus 14. Create two brackets. D squared means d times d. So write d in the beginning of each of the brackets. Now think, which two numbers have the product of 14 and sum of minus 9? Pay attention to this. The previous question we solved, the coefficient of d, or the coefficient of the unknown we have in the middle, had always been plus. But in this case, it's minus. Pay attention to how to tackle it. I am looking at 7 and 2. Because 7 times 2 is 14. Why 7 plus 2 is 9? Now, how do you place it? Minus 7 times minus 2 will give you plus 14. And that's a minus 7 plus minus 2 will give you minus 9. So if you go and write plus 7 and plus 2, you will fail. So I'm going to write minus 7 and minus 2. Because it is only minus 7 and minus 2 that have the product of plus 14. And the same minus 7 and minus 2 have the sum of minus 9. And they say that we should factorize c squared minus 8c minus 20. Create your two brackets. C squared is c times c. So write each of the c in the beginning of the brackets. Which two numbers have the product of minus 20 and the sum of minus 8? I'm looking at 2 and 10. You know that 2 times 2 is 20 and 2 times 10 is 20 and 10 minus 2 is 8. Now, you are going to be very careful how you place the signs of that 2 and 10 so that it will work well. You know that minus 10 and plus 2 have the product of minus 20. That is minus 10 and plus 2. Minus 10 times plus 2 will give you minus 20. And minus 10 plus 2 will give you minus 8. That means the correct number you are going to have is minus 10 and plus 2. If you write 10 and minus 2, you will fail. The truth is that 10 times minus 2 will give you minus 20, but 10 minus 2 will not give you minus 8. It will rather give you plus 8. So it must be minus 10 and plus 2. Let's check. This is the last question. Let's also check. By the time we check, you discover that we are going to get our original expression. C times C is C squared. C times plus 2 will give you plus 2C. Minus 10 times C will give you minus 10C. Minus 10 times plus 2 will give you minus 20. Collect like terms. Bring down C squared. 2C minus 10C will give you minus 8C. Then bring down minus 20. You can find out that the expression we have here is the same thing as the one we started with. That means our factorization was correct.